Have you ever wondered why some places only come alive when the world is asleep? Why some doors remain invisible until the moon rises? Why some markets were never meant for human eyes at all? If a path suddenly appeared to you at midnight, if voices whispered your name from a place everyone swears does not exist, would you follow? Would you dare to enter a market that disappears before sunrise? And most importantly, what price would you be willing to pay for a secret you were never meant to discover? This is the story of Kojo, the boy who found the market that opens only at midnight and the night that changed his destiny forever. The village of Asante Manson was simple and peaceful, surrounded by ancient forests that whispered when the wind passed through. Nothing strange ever happened there, except for one rule, older than the oldest elder. No one was allowed to walk past the old silk cotton tree after midnight. No one explained why. No one said what lived beyond it. They only warned, if you value your life, keep away. Kojo never liked rules. At 17, curiosity burned inside him like a stubborn flame. He always asked questions the elders refused to answer, and that curiosity would soon open a door he could never close again. It began on a night when the moon looked too full, too bright. Kojo could not sleep. Something tugged at him softly like an invisible hand pulling him out of the hut. He stepped outside for fresh air, but the night felt strange, too still, too expectant. Then he heard it, a whisper, soft, distant, almost like a trader calling, "Kojo, come." He froze. How could anyone call his name at that hour? The whisper came again, clearer, curling through the night like smoke. "Kojo, the time is right." He turned toward the source of the sound, and his heart jumped. The voice was coming from the forbidden silk cotton tree. Everything in him said to run, but curiosity, or fate, pulled stronger. As he approached the tree, he noticed something impossible, a narrow glowing path behind it, a path he had never seen before, a path that should not exist. And then he smelled something even stranger. Spices, roasted kola, smoked leaves, pepper, shea butter, the smell of a market at midnight. Kojo swallowed, stepped onto the glowing path, and the world changed. Darkness lifted into a golden glow. Lanterns floated in the air like quiet suns. Stalls stretched in every direction. Bamboo shells, vine-woven tables, pots shaped from living clay, fabric shimmered like liquid light. The place looked endless, alive, magical. But not everything looked normal. A woman with bright red eyes sold fruits. A man grinding herbs cast no shadow. A boy sweeping the ground floated above it. Kojo's skin tingled. He should have run, but the beauty in front of him held him like a spell. An old woman approached, her skin looking like carved clay. She smiled warmly. "Welcome, Kojo. We have been expecting you." His heart stopped. How? How do you know my name?" She didn't answer. Instead, she said, "This market opens only to those who have a destiny to fulfill." He felt trapped and chosen at the same time. "What kind of market is this?" he whispered. Her smile deepened. "A market of bargains, a market of secrets, a market of truth. Everything you see has a price, but not everything is paid with money." Before he could speak again, a loud gong shook the ground. Everyone bowed. A tall figure arrived at the center, wearing a golden mask shaped like a crescent moon. His voice echoed like thunder. "Welcome, Kojo. The market has opened for you. Choose wisely or lose everything you love." Kojo's fear spread like cold water inside him. He wandered cautiously through the stalls. There was a ball that revealed the future, a mirror that exposed true intentions, a drum that could summon rain, a singing stone, a bottle containing a voice, a calabash full of discarded memories. Every item was tempting and dangerous. Beneath each was carved a warning. What you take, you must give. What you touch, you must offer. What you claim, you must sacrifice. Kojo told himself not to touch anything, but then he saw it, a small carved wooden bird, glowing faintly blue, simple, beautiful. It reminded him of his late mother. "Just looking won't hurt," he whispered. But the moment his fingers brushed the surface, the entire market gasped. The wooden bird lit up like a blue flame. The masked figure appeared instantly.
"You have chosen," he said. Kojo stammered. I didn't choose. I only touched it." The figure replied. "In this market, even a touch is a choice." Fear tightened in Kojo's stomach. "What is the price?" The figure lifted the glowing bread. "A memory you cherish most." Kojo staggered back. "No, take something else." But it was too late. A sharp pain cut through him like a knife, and suddenly he could not remember his mother's face. He gasped. "What have you done?" The masked figure whispered. "Nothing here is free." The colorful lights flickered. Traders' faces twisted into unnatural shapes. The friendly illusion faded. The market's true nature appeared. Dark, shifting, dangerous. Kojo's mind filled with dread. The masked figure said in a cold voice, "Your night is not over. The real price is yet to come." The warm stalls became dark corridors. Smiling traders bared sharp teeth. Shadows stretched like living creatures. The market whispered with one voice, "Kojo, we still owe you." The masked figure appeared. "There is one chance to repay your debt. You must find the original owner of this bread before the lanterns turn black. If you fail, the market will claim your soul before morning." Kojo looked up. The lanterns were already dimming. He ran. The market twisted around him like a maze. A whisper called him into a small shadowy corner. There, sitting alone, was a girl no older than 15. Pale skin, bright moonlit eyes, old-fashioned clothes. She looked at him immediately. "You took my bird," she said. "I didn't think you would find me." "You are the owner?" Kojo asked breathlessly. She nodded. "But giving it back won't save you." "Why?" "Because I am no longer alive," she whispered. Kojo's heart pounded. She continued. "The market claimed me long ago. I made a mistake I couldn't undo. Now I am trapped." Kojo felt cold fear in his bones. "If I return the bird, will the market free me?" She shook her head sadly. "The market never releases anyone who touches what they should not." Kojo's throat tightened. "Then how do I survive?" She came closer. "There is only one way. You must escape before the last lantern dies." Kojo looked around. "But the path is gone." She pointed into the darkness. "The path moves. It appears only for a moment. If you miss it, you will be trapped forever." She touched the glowing bird. "This will guide you, but only if you run now." Then a terrible sound shook the market. Gong! The masked figure's voice thundered. "Time is almost over." The girl grabbed Kojo's hand. "Run!" Lanterns flickered violently. Shadows chased him. Traders screamed. The entire market roared like a living beast hungry for him. Kojo ran. He didn't know if the path would appear. He didn't know if the market would let him go. He didn't know if he would survive the night, but the glowing bird pulsed in his hand, leading him deeper into the darkness, towards a path that might save him or destroy him.
Kojo ran through the twisting market, clutching the glowing wooden bird as if it were the last breath left in his chest. The ground beneath him shifted with every step, turning from sand to stone to mud to polished wood, as if the market itself was trying to confuse him. The lanterns above flickered desperately, bright, dim, like the heartbeat of a dying giant. Every flicker reminded him that time was almost gone. Shadows crawled behind him, stretching long, thin arms across the ground. They followed him like hunters who knew their prey was already tired. Their whispers slithered through the air. "Kojo, Kojo, you touched what was not yours. You cannot leave." His legs trembled, but he refused to stop. The girl's voice echoed in his mind. "Run before the last lantern dies." His lungs burned. His breath came out in painful gasps. He darted between stalls that now looked alive, wood creaking like bones, fabrics swirling without wind, spices floating like colored ghosts. Traders who once seemed human now sharpened into monstrous shapes. Some had elongated faces, others had too many eyes, a few had mouths that opened sideways. All of them watched him, hunting him. Kojo turned sharply into a narrow path between two towering stalls. The wooden bird pulsed in his hand, growing brighter with each beat. It was guiding him towards something, somewhere, but he didn't know if it was safety or a new trap. A sudden scream burst behind him. He didn't look back. If he did, he might freeze, he might fall, he might be swallowed. The path curved sharply and opened into a wide circular clearing at the heart of the market. He had never seen this part before. It was enormous, surrounded by tall poles where lanterns hung like dying stars, and at the center, the masked figure stood, motionless, waiting. Kojo skidded to a stop, his heart slamming violently in his chest. The masked figure turned toward him slowly, as if he had been expecting him all along. "Kojo," the figure said, his voice echoing through the entire market. "You run, but you do not understand. There is no escape without payment. The market always takes what it is owed." Kojo tightened his grip on the bird. "You took my mother's face from my memory," he said with shaking anger. "What more do you want from me?" The masked figure stepped closer. "Everything. Because the moment you touched that bird, your life became a bargain." Kojo's voice broke. "I didn't choose it. I didn't mean to." "Intentions are nothing here. Only actions." The girl appeared behind Kojo, emerging from the shadow like mist. She looked weaker now, as if every passing second drained her. "Don't listen to him," she whispered urgently. "The market thrives on fear and surrender. There is still a path out. You must find the gate." Kojo whispered, "Where is it?" She pointed beyond the figure, toward a long corridor of stalls that curved into darkness. "The path appears only when someone touches the bird. It responds to guilt, to fear, to desperate hope. Keep running and it will show you." The masked figure turned his head toward the girl. "You again," he said, his voice filled with ancient irritation. "You were claimed years ago. You have no right to defy the market." She stepped in front of Kojo, trembling but standing firm. "I lost my soul here. I will not let him lose his too." The masked figure raised his staff. Shadows surged from the ground like dark flames reaching for Kojo. The girl pushed him aside, and the shadows passed inches from his face. "Run, Kojo, now!" she screamed. Kojo sprinted into the corridor. The market shook violently, screaming as if furious that he dared to defy it. The stalls leaned inward, trying to close around him. The ground cracked. Strange hands rose from beneath the earth, grabbing at his ankles. Kojo jumped over them, slipping once, almost falling, but the bird glowed brighter, pulling him forward. Lanterns above him turned darker with each passing moment. He looked up. Only 5 lanterns remained fully lit, then 4, then 3. His heart raced. If the last lantern died, he would be trapped forever. He turned left, then right, then left again, following the bird's pulses. The air thickened, making it hard to breathe. "Faster," he whispered to his legs. "Please, faster." Then he saw it, far ahead. A faint silver arch, shimmering in the darkness like a doorway made of fog and moonlight. The path out. The exit. Freedom. Relief washed through him so quickly it made him dizzy. But between him and the arch stood another figure. A woman. Tall, elegant, glowing like firelight. Her face was covered with a cloth of woven shadows. Her voice slid through the air like silk. "Kojo," she said calmly, "give me the bird. Give it peacefully, and the market will return what you lost. Your mother's memory, your peace, your life." Kojo slowed, sweating, panting. Her voice was gentle, comforting, almost warm enough to believe. "I know what you crave, your mother's face. You want it back. This pain you feel, I can end it for you. Just hand me the bird." For a moment, Kojo felt weak. He imagined his mother's smile, her voice, her laugh. The memories he had lost burned like fresh wounds. "Give it to me," the woman coaxed. "End your suffering." But then, the wooden bird trembled violently in his hand, glowing red, warning him. Kojo lifted his head sharply. Something about the woman was wrong. Too perfect, too polished, too rehearsed. "If I give you the bird," he said slowly, "what happens to me?" Her smile didn't reach her eyes.
You won't have to worry about anything ever again. Kojo swallowed hard. That sounded too much like death. He tightened his grip. No. Her smile dropped. Her voice deepened into something monstrous. Give me the bird. Kojo ran. She screamed, a terrible sound that shattered the air. Shadows burst around her like wings. Kojo sprinted harder than he had ever run in his life. The arch was close, just a few steps away, but the Max figure appeared in front of it, blocking the exit. Kojo skidded to a stop, breathless, hopeless. You cannot run from a death, the figure said. You touched what you should not have touched. You awakened what should never awaken. Kojo lifted the bird. Then take it and let me go. The figure shook his head. It is too late for that. The last lantern above them flickered weakly. Kojo felt tears rise in his eyes. Please, I don't want to die here. The masked figure leaned forward. Then offer something greater than memory. His voice dropped. Offer something the market has never held. The girl's voice echoed behind Kojo. Don't do it. Whatever he asked for, don't give it. Kojo looked back at her. She was fading, literally, fading like smoke losing shape. The market was draining her. She didn't have much time left. Kojo's chest tightened. She had helped him again and again. He couldn't leave her here. Let her go, Kojo said. Let her soul go and take whatever you want from me. The masked figure tilted his head. Her soul was claimed. You cannot bargain for what is not yours. Kojo clenched his fist. Then take my remaining memories. Take everything. Just let her go. The masked figure raised his staff. That is not enough. Kojo felt hopelessness pull him down. The lanterns dimmed again. Only one remained. He looked at the girl, at the arch, at the glowing bird, at his rapidly shrinking future. And then something inside him, courage or desperation, clicked into place. If the market wants something it has never had, Kojo whispered, then take this. He placed the bird over his chest. It glowed so brightly that it illuminated the whole market. I give my destiny, my path, my future. I give up everything I am supposed to become if you release her. The masked figure went still. The market froze. Even the shadows stopped moving. Your destiny, the figure whispered. Yes, Kojo said firmly. Take it, all of it. Just free her. Silence fell. Then the masked figure struck his staff on the ground. The market roared like 1,000 storms. The girl gasped as chains of light snapped away from her ankles. Her body solidified, no longer fading. She looked at Kojo in shock. What did you do? Kojo didn't answer. He could already feel his future unraveling, threads pulling from his chest like delicate strands of light. The masked figure stepped aside. The gate is open. Go. The girl grabbed Kojo's hand. Come. They ran together toward the arch. The final lantern went dark. The market screamed in fury. Shadows chased them. The ground cracked open.
The stalls collapsed inward like falling giants. Kojo and the girl dove through the arch just as the entire market imploded behind them, vanishing into blackness. Kojo hit the ground outside the silk cotton tree, gasping. The night was calm again. The village silent. The stars unmoved. The girl lay beside him, breathing softly. She was free. The market was gone. But something felt empty inside him, a hollow space where hope once lived. He had given up his future. He no longer felt the invisible thread of destiny guiding him. He no longer felt the natural pull of who he was supposed to become. He was like a lamp with the wick removed, alive but directionless. The girl sat up slowly. You freed me, she whispered. You sacrificed everything for a stranger. Kojo forced a weak smile. You weren't a stranger. She touched his hand gently. Your destiny is gone. But that doesn't mean your life is over. A person with no destiny is not cursed, Kojo. It means your future is no longer written. You are free to create your own path now, one that even the market cannot predict. Kojo stared at the horizon. The first light of dawn began to rise, painting the sky gold. For the first time, he felt both empty and strangely full, lost but also free. The girl stood and offered her hand. Come, let us return to your village. You saved me. Now let me help you find a new beginning. Kojo took her hand. Together, they walked back into the world, away from the curse of the midnight market, and into a future that no one, not even fate, could control. If you like this story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, comment, and turn on your notification for interesting and amazing stories like this. Thanks for watching. See you on my next one.